What up? What up? All right. So who we got? What's up, CJ? That's dope. Disagree. Agree with that. Cool Kitty. What up? Tank's losing what fight? What fight's Tank's losing? What exactly? What fight is Tank losing? What are you talking about? Did my alert go out? Ain't that a bitch? They didn't send the fucking alert out. All right. Let's see if we can get it sent out. I hate when they do that shit. How are you supposed to, you know what I'm saying, when they don't send alerts out? Roach or Ryan Garcia? Um, Roach or Ryan Garcia? Shit. Roach or Ryan Garcia? Garcia. It's afternoon here, Robert, but appreciate the sentiment. Good morning to you too, sir. Let's see if this sends the alert out. I just went live on YouTube. It never seems to work. Like when they don't want to send the shit out, they just don't send it out. But you know what? I've stacked this bitch without having the alert go out. So fuck them. Fuck them. Bastards. Dirty bastards. Why are they fucking with us? What did we ever do to them? All right. 1 p.m. East Coast, baby. 1:28 to be exact. Robert, were you in the East? Where you at again? Remind me, because I forgot. Man, I hope ESPN calls soon. It's going to be quite interesting, though, right? Because those you know, my business isn't doing well. I feel like I'm going to get my break, right? I feel like something's going to pop off. Like, it's going to swoop down like Batman and save me. Because I smell it. I smell something cooking. I don't know what it is, man, but I smell something cooking. We'll have to find out what, though. You're making pancakes? Oh, Cali, all right. Pancakes. I can't eat pancakes anymore unless they're oat or made from like not white flour. But pancakes are dope. Bival or Dave? I got Benavidez, Tyler. David Benavidez thrashes Bival. Thrashes his bitch ass. You know what I'm gonna see? I'm gonna see something. David Benavidez thrashes him. I'm gonna see if I can go live on the other thing, just see if it'll put the alert out. Because sometimes it does. I'll go live on both of these and it'll put the alert out. Oh, I'm just gonna end this one. I hate how it doesn't fucking. I hate how it doesn't send the alert out. Shit's annoying me. Do you think Bival Benavidez will definitely happen? I do. I do. I think is next. But they might do a third, man. I hope Beterbiev just. He doesn't seem like he's going to retire, though. That's the problem. He doesn't seem like he's like going to retire for shit. Well, I kind of want him out the way. Isn't that weird for me to say? A 93% knockout artist. I want him out the way because we got to see what's up. The prelims. I don't know. I'm gonna go live with you guys. I'm gonna go live with you punk maricon motherfuckers. You ever see Carlito's Way? I think Al Pacino's portrayal of a fucking Boricua or whatever he was supposed to be was so goofy. He's like, you nothing but a punk maricon motherfucker. I thought it was so, like, he did not come off as a Hispanic dude to me at all. At all. But that's just me. All right. I just ended the other stream. See if it would send out an alert. It did not. Fuck it. We'll just rock out here. How you feel about Shakur's last performance? He looked great. He looked great. But that wasn't the problem, right? The problem was he's fighting an electrician and blah, blah, blah. But he looked dope to me. Is Matias fighting on the same card? Is he fighting on the 10 card? I'm so pissed I'm not there. I'm seeing Ellie Sekback going on. He's putting all my friends like fucking Shannon Briggs and Flat Sparks. All these dudes who I know personally, and I'm not there. It's been a bad winter. I'll be honest with you guys. It's been a bad winter, like, in general. Even my fucking Instagram, YouTube's been blowing up for me, which I'm very thankful for. But the Instagram has dropped. I went from 10 million views in January to 4 million. Now, I know I probably sound like a little spoiled rich bitch being like, I only made $100 billion after making $1 trillion. But I'm not making a lot of money, so it matters. You know what I'm saying? If I was chilling financially, dips are part of the business. I'm just saying I'm not one of those people who doesn't appreciate what they have. When I have something like viable, sustainable, I'm chilling. I understand there's dips. I've had a business for many years. I get that there's dips, but this economy is out of control right now. Excellent Tio interview. You were respectful, asked about issues, and was passively direct. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Is there anything specifically in the interview that you enjoyed, like the question that I asked that you wanted to know about, something specific? No, Matias, different card. Okay, well, we'll fucking rock out. I'm gonna go live, right? Fuck it, I'm gonna go live, and we're gonna rock out tonight. We're going to rock out as a community. You guys all better join me. He's in Puerto Rico. The zone. Yeah, well, he's funny, man. He went from the boogeyman, the scariest dude in boxing after literally, killing somebody, to fighting in a half-empty card in Puerto Rico. Half-empty arena, excuse me. Margot should start pre-reading chats silently. Why? What happened? What did they say that's so bad? Why don't you bring on Roy for pre-fight stuff? Roy is at the events, like, on doing doing analysis for PBC, like network shit. Roy's doing what I want to be doing. So nah, he can't be coming on with me. He's getting paid to put on a real headset, to have real cameras in front of him. So trust me, I'd love it though. Tank versus Jake Paul is what I'm hearing is next. If Tank beats Roach, man. Well, Jake Paul just put out a tweet. You saw that? Saying how he respects Tank, all this stuff. He respects him. He likes what he stands for, blah, blah, blah. He just said that if they fought because of the size difference, he'd kill him. I don't know if I don't agree with that. You know what? I'm glad you addressed the racism directly in the interview. I would have pushed a little harder, Lime. So what would you have done that I didn't do? What would you have done that I didn't do? I was at a Paro fight watching him lose in front of Trinidad, and a sold-out arena was embarrassing. There you go. Tank is a 2000. Yeah, but you know something funny? Dry turkey? People are trying to say this would match Buster Douglas versus Tyson. Tyson was a minus 42,000. Well over double. That's how much bigger the Tyson upset was. People always want to make their era be the dopest and their situation be the best or the worst. The Tyson shit, it was a way bigger up. Biggest upset in sports history, possibly. Yeah, Roy did. Yeah, he did. Roy's working, man. What's good, Mamoon? Acha. Oh, you must be cranky, right? It means you can't eat and do shit. You can't. Can you not even drink water, Mamoon? Is it like you can't put anything in your fucking mouth?
Fruity.
Not in that way. I don't know. I think you guys could have water, right? What up, True Media? What it do? I was about to say you're from the South. What it do is such a fucking Houston thing to say. Pow wow, baby, what it do? We say Paul Wall. He says pow wow. To me, it sounds like he's saying pow, like pow, wow. But he's saying Paul Wall. It's just confusing. I rewatched Tank vs. Barrios fight. I'm 5'11", so it was humbling. Yeah, I'm 5'11" too, Tyler. That's what I'm saying. Jake Paul is 6 feet. 6 feet. So if Tank fought Barrios, who was what, 5'11"? Is Barrios 5'11"? I believe he is, or 5'10". 6 feet? Oh, shit. So Jake Paul's the same height as Barrios, but he has way less experience and skill, just way more power. I don't think he can hit Tank. Tank's too fast. That'll even out. Jake hits harder because he's bigger, but not much harder, mind you, because Tank is 1 in a trillion power. I think it evens it out. Tank's experience level far surpasses Jake's size advantage. And his speed, Tank's speed far surpasses Jake's power advantage, if he even has one. Roach is dangerous. You will see tonight. Oh, yeah, you came in last night talking about that. Okay, we'll see. Shaquem just got knocked out by... No, he didn't. They're not even fighting yet, you goofball. Matias, not a bum, just undisciplined. He lost because he wouldn't listen to his corner. I mean, nobody says a bum. No water, but I just got finished cutting for the last month for wrestling, so I'm used to it. That's crazy. How do you drink no water? Like, and I don't mean to sip this as we're talking about it. I'm not trying to rub it in your face. I guess subconsciously, subliminally, it made me thirsty. I would have pointed out racial trolling hasn't secured him a big fight. Well, he said that. But CJ, he said that himself. He goes, well, I'm poking, it's not working, so I guess I got to try something else. He said that himself. So why would I bring it up? That's why I said to him, have you been pressed at all? See, I said everything you said, CJ, but I didn't say it. So, for example, I didn't bring up the first part because he already said that it didn't work and he has to switch it up. And then by me asking me if he's been getting pressed, by me asking him if he's getting pressed for the racial comments in the street, is the same thing about me saying, like, trying to probe and be like, well, how'd that work out for you? But according to him, it didn't really cause him any beef. So I did all that. Barrios is 5'10". Well, it says 6 feet online. Zooted, I thought the fight started. No, I think it's 2:15. Marco, had you got the fight tonight? I don't do rounds, guys. Was Bacoli exposed? Yeah, he was exposed for being grossly out of shape. But that was already there. He was grossly out of shape his last fight. He wasn't even warmed up yet before he got knocked out. You saw he was throwing punches kind of tight. Matias, Laws, I think you're trying to say lost, because he had a lot of pressure of fighting in his hometown. He's an awesome fighter, young. Keep up the amazing work. Appreciate you. What's up, Gio? Your interview gave boxers forum to explain, then he did not avoid obvious issues and use logic. Fighters had to respond the same. Instead of signing the unification deal with Tiafimo, he signed the Matchroom done dirty by Eddie. Damn, Rafael, you said you're Dominican, right? I thought you were Puerto Rican for show. I was about to say you're trying to support your Puerto Rican brother, but what up, dog? I hear you. Keep it professional. I would have asked him if it's okay with black fighters throwing around. Ooh. See, I can't even say that word. That's for start. That's for one. Two, he would have said, yeah. Like, I know. That's the thing, CJ. I know the answer to that. You're asking it because you think it's going to corner him. See, and I'm with you. I'm trying to. I don't mind cornering somebody to get them to kind of think, but I know for a fucking 1,000%. 'Cause I grew up in New York City, and that SPIC word, you know, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck, especially somebody who uses the N word so freely. Marco ducking border wars. So I guess so. Are you buying or stealing the fight? Come on, man. I don't steal fights. Piccoli had to use old shorts and Dubois gloves. That's fucking weird. And it wasn't. It's weird because Turkey Al Sheikh has unlimited funding. So you just can't put him in some normal gloves? Now, again, oversights happen. Everything is pre-bought. Everything is pre-taken care of. When there's a last-minute swap out, it's easily understandable that there was an oversight. All right, we got everything. Oh, but fuck, the gloves had his name on it. Well, we're putting them on now. Too late to swap them. You know what I mean? Say it, I'll give 9. Saying shit. Get the fuck out of here. Trying to get me canceled? You had to use Dubois gloves because they were already approved by everyone. Well, you could get other gloves approved. I think it was just an oversight because the process of approval takes time. By the time they realize it, they didn't have the time. So they just put them on. He doesn't? Saudi Arabia is almost unlimited funds. I mean, I don't, teach me. Educate me. Is there something I'm missing? How does he not have unlimited funds? The gloves have come shipped and sealed from the manufacturer. So generally fights have gloves on the side because gloves rip. Shit happens. You always have to have a backup. That's what's weird. You could rip the glove putting it on, pulling it too hard. Like it's very uncommon, but it could happen. So there should always be backups. I'm going to send you the link right now. Check your DMs. About what? A link about what? Props for Piccoli because it seems like he barely had sleep. Oh, he ate. As my man Two Tone said, that dude had mad snacks on the plane. He probably got off there just having mad snacks. And probably had a little smoothie on the way to the fucking fight. He did get a budget from the government that uses. Right. No, I know that. But they have unlimited funding. And we're talking a pair of gloves. Dondrick. We're talking a pair of gloves here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying throw in Beyonce as the halftime show. You know what I mean? I'm just a pair of gloves. Do you still think Frank Martin better than Roach? Do I? I don't know yet. Ask me that after tonight. That's true, but had to wear backup grants for Madrimal fight. Here you go. Watch several channels with interviews. You were like Barbara Walters, very skilled. You were on your way. I see it. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm also different. You know what I mean? I'm different. I don't think any other boxing channel is like me. You know what I'm saying? I'm the only fucking white boy. Actually, no, I'm not the only white boy. That's what's his face, Sean Zeitel. But I'm different. I'm the only not dry. Like, I'm not dry at all. And I don't just repeat the same shit over and over again because that would bore me. Mark, I'm surprised you work today. Why not? I got to work, man. Times are tough. I got to work every day. Fuck this. I'm going to go. I'm telling you guys, I have thrown shit into sixth gear. And I'm by the summer, mark my words, by the summer, this channel and or my outside endeavor, whatever it may be, will be popping like snap and crackle. Snap, crackle, and popping like Kellogg's. Okay? Piccoli pulled up with some Jollof. I don't know what that means, but that sounds funny. A link for you to buy the paper. Oh, right. Appreciate you, Mamoon. I got some links of my own, but send away. Thank you. Shout out, Marco. Keep these interviews going, my boy. Oh, shit. TBV. All right. Appreciate you. Salute. CJ, get the F out of here with all those race questions. Marco seriously, dude, just comes in here was racially charged. Why are you always bothering CJ? You gave me a wrench. Oh, word up. Bro, you working 7 days a week? Yeah, hell yeah, I am. You ask those real life questions, but you try to see it from all sides, but let the guests speak. You the white Andre Ward of interview. So I appreciate that, but I don't agree fully. I don't think I'm like Andre Ward. I think Andre Ward is way drier, and I think Andre Ward leans too heavily on being a fighter and bonding with the guests over them being fighters and unintentionally alienating some viewers. That I don't do. I don't bring up how I'm a fighter all the time. And of course, I was never at his level, but I don't, yeah. But other than that, thank you. It's going to be, huh? What? Why the hell did you say that? Have you critiqued some of the interviews content creators have done live? Have I? What do you mean? What's up? What up, Drummond? Marco, hit me with that link too. T.O. machine gunned. Yeah. Yeah, T.O. Uzi'd the N-word. He was like, no. I was like, I give up. Take the money. Stop. Marco Border Wars on 30 minutes. You'll still maybe give. I'm not going to watch Border Wars, I don't think. What's the best police academy, 2 or 4? What was 4 about? 1 through 3 are the best. You humanize the fighters. Word. Appreciate you. Parker versus Usyk. Usyk. I think Parker's really on a tremendously lucky run. But hey, let's say he beats Usyk. Possibly the greatest comeback in boxing history, heavyweight boxing history. If Parker beats Usyk, possibly the greatest comeback, I give him most improved player of the generation. Appreciate you. I don't really know much about Jared Hurd. In Cali, everyone says the N-word. Well, everybody says it in New York, too. Well, black people, not white people. What does it take to beat Tank? Your only chance is probably to outbox him. Keep him on the end of that whip like you're Indiana Jones. Keep him at the very end of that whip like you're Indy. And try and just outbox him and stay away. I see what you're saying about your development. Your fight shorts are great. You are but unlike Andre Ward, like the directness, like the directness, but unlike because you're not biased and so respectful. Citizens on Patrol. That one was dope. I like the first one. I like them all. The one when they went to the beach, that one got kind of stupid. But anything that had Steve Guttenberg in it was dope. But then when he stopped, when they replaced him, then the shit got whack. Ward's interviews 100% feel alienating as a fan. That's what I'm saying. He's like, yeah, he does a lot of he does a lot, literally does a lot of yeah, you know how, yeah, but we don't know when you're not letting us know because you keep pointing out, hey, you guys got this unspoken boxing bond of so much of that. He's like bonding with them on camera, which is cool, but I don't think it makes viewers feel like they're a part of it. They think could kill what? They think could kill the brother of Badula. I don't remember what the hell you're talking about. I think T.O. will spark. Yeah, T.O.'s gonna knock him out. Marco, you shouldn't talk about any type of whip talk. It's almost like, get out of here. That's funny, though. Marco, you look like a boxer named Simon Chamov. Oh, but now we're going to look him up. Simeon Chanoff. Now, if this is offensive, I'm going to get angry. Simeon Chanoff? Simeon Chanoff. Boxer? Maybe I spelled it wrong. What am I missing here? Chamoff. Yeah, isn't that what I put? Oh, Chanoff I put. I look like this fucking guy? What do you guys think? Do I look like this fucking guy? Yeah, maybe a little bit. Let's see. Where's he from? Jesus. That's not a favorable record. Oh, he's Bulgarian. I was going to say, the dude looks mad Bulgarian. That's an awful, or is that his amateur? Oh, that's amateur. Okay, he didn't turn pro yet. Damn. Do you guys think I look like this guy? I kind of do. You see? Okay, so right there. You clearly see like the Bulgarian DNA, right? That's funny. Simeon Chanoff. Okay, well, cool. I look like him. I look like him. Fuck it. We're both Bulgarian. That's your long lost brother. I wish I had a brother. I was an only child, people. And the shit was mad lonely growing up. However, all my friends, my wife, people have siblings that are a fucking nightmare. Like crackheads. So, not literally, but some of them. So at least I don't have the headache of dealing with a fucked up relationship with a sibling. Mark, you need to go live for the CYP versus Keem fight on your channel, but you got to use the voice and do it the same way as you do the shorts. Man, I'll pass out if I do that. Damn, he's Marco. MPO, that was funny. That was good. Sarwar, what up? Marco, you are on Ukrainian. What you mean? I'm not Russian. I'm Ukrainian and Bulgarian. No Russian. Although Ukraine is part of Russia back in the Soviet Union times. Bulgarian, you fucking dipshit. Bolivia is in South America. Do I look South American to you? Actually, people used to think I was Puerto Rican, but growing up in Hell's Kitchen. Marco looked like James Murray. That's fucked up. I told you I know Sal Volcano from Impractical Jokers, like well. And a few times while I was with Sal, people thought I was Murray for a second. Didn't happen much, but they thought I was. Marco, I'm convinced that Tank has a skill set to defeat the fighters. I've been saying that, Levon. He has the skill set. We all know that. But he's not giving us what we want. Yeah, exactly. Damn, why you call the big homie Tia's sibling crackhead? No, not Tia's. Just, I said I have friends who have siblings that are like fucked up or crackheads. I didn't say her. Her sister never did crack. Damn, you ain't have to call me a dipshit. Okay. I'm from Canada? I wish. Get free health insurance. Marco woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. Me? What'd I do? You wish Peter Santello might be related. Who the fuck is Peter Santello? All right, now you're going to make me look this guy up. Peter Santello. Nah. Nah, I don't look like him. Who is he? Oh, what is he? Oh, traveler entrepreneur. Nah, I don't look like him. Johnny, that was certified.
Oh, that's racist.
That's just a white bald dude. We have our complexions are completely different. Our features are different. The Bulgarian guy, I get. Flamant Roach beats Tank. We need you to do an animated YMCA karaoke shorts. Now, why? Why would that be YMCA if he beats Tank? Because he's only 20 and he's a goofball. What you mean by being dry? Having no like good energy, having no uplifting energy, just being very like, so what is the thing that you did with the thing where you, where you're just like kind of stoic and there's no gear or energy changes in you. You're just kind of like, so I heard that you blah blah blah, and why did that blah 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 boo? Like that's dry. No, and with no humor, just like you're reading, like you wrote it down. You're just like, so did you send the watermelon and bananas? Well, some people think you might have. What do you think about that? That's dry. What's up, punk? You racist. That's what Mark. Here we go. We and me. That's what Spider Rico said. Ooh. All right. So that's what we're doing now. Coming in with the N word. Just give you a hard time, bro. But that dude has some fire travel vlogs. Nah, maybe you think it's true. That's fine. Will you do a Keem versus CYP shorts breakdown? I think you should do a CYP. Probably not, because my viewers, which I get millions of, maybe 1% knows who the fuck knows about TBV. So I would be alienating a lot of viewers doing that. But maybe. CJ foaming at the mouth. Seeing Low use the N word. Low's Boricua, baby. He's probably Nah, let's see. If I look at Low, I wouldn't say half black. Low's probably like 30, 40% like African DNA, I would guess. Something like that. So that's enough, right? No? What are the rules? You guys tell me. Brian Custer's all right. Monotone. Monotone can be dry as well. You watching Border Wars? Probably highlights. Ward's interviews, boring as hell. That's what I'm saying. Not boring as hell, but definitely not engaging. Maybe, Alberto. Maybe I'll let people come on. What up, Mike? Saying Tio knocks out Barbosa is utterly ignorant. Ooh, we have a challenge. Take your time to really dissect their styles, break down the fight. You call yourself a boxing expert? Kiss my ass. How about that? I call myself a you kissing my ass expert. I don't just say shit without breaking it down. I know both their styles. That's exactly why I believe it'll happen. Now, look, Barbosa can box and stay on the outside and move and all that, but Tio's an excellent boxer, so that won't work against Tio. If Tio is just a brawler, like a pit bull, then I'd agree with you. Punk. Ness better pay Marco if he does that shit. He's not paying me shit. Marco is the MC Search of, oh, man.
Oh, that's racist.
Damn MC Search. MC Search was like kind of goofy back then with the flat top and the dance moves and nah. Absolutely not. Puerto Ricans, just Spanish-speaking black. Well, it depends, Mikhail. Some Puerto Ricans are as fucking blue eyes and are of way more of Spanish descent. Some Puerto Ricans are black as fucking Wesley Snipes. Some are like low, 30%. Some are 50. Some are, look at Ness. Ness isn't Puerto Rican, but I know Puerto Ricans look like Ness. He's probably, I would guess, 75% African, something like that, if he had his shit done. I think Eubanks wins by KO, yeah. I think he's way too big. I think that fight is such a tap into British boxing history and culture because of their fathers, but the fight itself is, I believe, a tremendous mismatch. Is Arnold going to be ready for the fight in May? He just fought 2 weeks. Yeah, man. He'll be ready. MC Search is one of the coolest and respectful white rappers. Come on, Low. Search was fucking whack. Like, Pop Goes a Weasel was kind of dope. The Gas Face was kind of dope, and that was it. And his solo album wasn't awful, but it wasn't. He was a little goofy though. Like, he was like a dancing, like a lemur, like a dancing lemur. Like, it was just goofy. He was like a performance. The animals they train to go in the circus and perform. He kind of, I don't know. He didn't strike it. Like, I know he's from Coney Island or Far Rockaway or whatever, but he said himself, he grew up in a traditional Jewish household. Like, I don't know. Something about him struck me as a little goofy and trying a little too hard, not being his authentic self. His authentic self, though, is probably dope. Matias is Puerto Rican, I know. Tio struggles with boxers. Really? Did he struggle with Loma, who is arguably one of the greatest boxers in history, with arguably the greatest footwork in history? Did he struggle with him? Did he struggle with Josh Taylor, who is almost a 6 foot tall, tremendously gifted boxer? Okay. Forgot. Oh, you say the highlights. Okay, so you're one of Ness's minions, one of the people that don't have any brains for themselves. You know, Ness isn't Hitler, so everything he says isn't like, oh, Z Kyle, and you agree with it. Do you realize that that's a joke? Do you realize that nobody in any of these boxing rooms could possibly just watch highlights? That would be completely like nobody who comes in a hardcore boxing room, let alone who has their own channel. But that's for anybody who believes that, like, you got to stop sipping the Kool-Aid and think for yourself. It's an on-running joke. So many people believe what he says. His Ness minions are crazy, but good for him. He gets to form his army of minions. Do you see that bag work I sent in? I didn't. I'll look though. Yeah, see, MC Search as a producer and all that, top notch. We're talking about him as a rapper. White dude with a flat top. Yeah. It was goofy. It was that by itself. Like, I had a couple. I knew an Asian kid who gave himself a flat top, but we tore his ass up. It's like, what are you doing? You're not black. Stop it. Whoa, you called him an animal. Now that's racist. MC Search? I called him an animal? That's racist? Okay. You got it. Tio and Barrett here. He fucked Taylor up. Border Wars. What's up, Surly? Marco watches full fights and main events. I do watch a lot of highlights on fights I don't give a shit about. That's a fact. Yeah, definitely on fights I don't give a shit about. But, I'm only going to watch highlights tonight. Yeah, I'm going to watch highlights of Border Wars. I'll tell you that. Very early nights hip-hop was kind of different in general. Yeah, it was kind of goofy overall. But, which is true. Yeah, he does, man. Minions. You got minions. What up, Chill Will? Asian dude. Yeah, man. My man Nelson. Korean. American, but Korean. Fucking shaved the sides, gelled the top up every morning. And when it rained, the shit just went, looks so goofy. Two best white rappers today are Bozo. Best white rapper, hands down, of all time is Eminem, obviously. And I'm not a fan. Like, I didn't really like his music, but I can't deny the skills. Just like Bernard Hopkins. Don't really like the way he fights, but I can't deny the skills. Andre Ward. Not really exciting to me, but can't deny the skills. Oh, shit. My man Anthony coming through like a big dog. I love you. I know Ness Minion. Oh, I love you too. And my counter is Sandra Martin, Jermaine Ortiz. I did. No, hey. Tio is known to fight down to his competition and fight up to his competition, and that's on him. So by that aspect, Mike, maybe you're right. Maybe he'll fight because Barbosa is not a superstar. Maybe he'll fight down to Barbosa's competition, and maybe it will be a problem. But if Tio comes in at tip-top, the best Tio, that's what I'm assuming, because that's what he's been most of his fights, except for 2. It'll be no contest. Ness full focus is TBV boxing. Huh? Are you excited about a plus fighter Roach? What you mean? Marco, you should make better thumbnails. No offense of your mugshot. You think so? You guys think if I made different thumbnails for every... Look at Ness's thumbnails. It's all the same fucking graphic. Just, it looks the same. There's just different people in it. So from a quick glance, it looks like all the same thumbnail to me. But maybe I'm wrong. Main event, probably like 11, 12. I've recently become obsessed with Chris Eubanks Sr. Yeah, Curtis, he was dope. He was dope. He beat Conor Benn's father, Nigel Benn, twice, I believe. And I believe Nigel Benn's a better overall fighter. I think even the Brits consider Nigel Benn as as a better overall fighter. But for some reason, this is why the triangle theories don't matter. When they matched up, Eubank just beat him. Yeah, I don't know, man. CJ, I'm not sure. It is it long overdue to have a breath-taking performance? Plus, Barbosa been calling Tio out for a while, especially since I think Tio's going to come in hot. I do, but the dude Mike had a point. He does fight down, so who knows? Barbosa beat Catterall by the skin of his teeth. He's no Sandor Martin. Tank said Roach is a plus fighter. Oh, A plus. Yeah, well, of course he said that. What's he going to say? I'm fighting somebody who's smaller than me, who has no knockout power, and who's probably around a B plus. Tune in, pay $80. Like, think about that, guys. Of course he's going to say what he has to say. The draw. But didn't he kind of lose that draw? Tio fight style reminds me of a young Vinny Paz. Disagree. No, maybe I do agree with that. Vinny had crazy speed, crazy power. He was also bulky, like stocky, right? You're going by the body type, I feel like, too. Maybe. Man, I love the Saudi cards. I can't stay up past 12 a.m. watching fights. Yeah. Well, no Saudi tonight, baby. We're going to be up till 3 in the morning. All of us. Tio got some screws loose. He's not as crazy as he comes off. I'm telling you. You see how when he was talking, his dad wasn't involved. He was chill. I don't think he's crazy. I think he goes through a lot. Tio came in hot for the Kambosos fight. Don't disrespect Tio by comparing him with Vinny Paz. Vinny Paz was a multi-world champion. Broke his shit. Broke his fucking neck and came back and won a title. What you mean? Also, make the titles more clickbait. I don't do clickbait. There's no need for clickbait. Shout out to Ness. And then later, Tank knocking out Lamont. We lit. Why are you shouting out Ness here? Oh, you mean for Border Wars? I'm like, he's not in here. Tune in to watch Sandor Martin and the new. Okay. All fighters are somewhat crazy. You have to be a little crazy in order. That's a fucking fact. I wasn't crazy. I disagree, Lo. Not crazy. All fighters are crazy or angry. I was an angry fucking kid, man. No, I'm not crazy. I'm angry though. Well, not really so much anymore, but I was angry as fuck. I would pop. Short fuse. And I wasn't about all that talking. I'm not talking. I kept so what's up? That shit to a 30-second fucking minimum before either I'm fighting or I'm just like, this fucking guy doesn't want to fight, and I'll and I just fucking nah. Or it gets broken up. Yeah, Paz was more of a brawler. When he got older, he had to be because he's so much smaller than these dudes and he couldn't reach them. What up, Dwayne? Is Lowe the historian? He claims to be. Now, Lowe doesn't go as far back as me with history, so I wouldn't really call him a historian. I would call him a he knows certain eras. So he's like he has a wealth of knowledge only up to a certain point. So, you know what I'm saying? His library is good, but then somebody took a few sections of his library and it burnt down in a fire. So he no longer has those notes in his mental Rolodex. His library is a little more of a new generation. It's a new build. My library is constructed from fucking day one. My library has wood frame, asbestos. My shit is Lowe's is brand new, concrete. You know what I mean? Smaller. Mine's huge. What's up, Arthur? Can't watch Border Wars. Hate watching bums fight. Amateur boxing, it was never my thing. Now, obviously, it's interesting to see CYP because, we know him and Keem and a couple people. But in general, I never liked amateur boxing for that reason. I'm not going to call them bums. That's disrespectful. But very, very green or, very unskilled or green fighters are never fun to watch fight. Brand new. It's never fun. Every now and then it'll be fun. But, you know what I mean? Halo, De La Hoya beat Trinidad. De La Hoya destroyed Trinidad. Nah, he didn't destroy him. De La Hoya could have destroyed him if he just stopped fighting. So that was the worst game plan I've ever seen in my life. Let me go up. Let me stop fighting in the 7th round after winning maybe 5 of them. Like, do the math, dipshit. You only won 5. He wins 6. He wins. Like, what are you doing? Or 7, I should say. What up, Dwayne? You library is from the 20s. Now, my library is from construction, from Inception. You fucking punk. Inception. You don't even know when Inception is. You don't even know when Inception is. Do you? Huh? When was the first glove fight? When was the first gloved fight? Do you know? That's Inception. 1885 was the first glove fight. You know that? You know the Marquess of Queensberry rules? You know the Marquess of Queensberry rules? You know what those are? Those are the current rules of boxing we use today. Those began being followed, which are the current rules where, you can't just, around 1867. My shit began during Inception, which is around 1867. Started with, who's the first gloved heavyweight champion ever? John L. Sullivan. That was, for a long time, the generations, Mike Tyson, George Foreman, the unbeatable dude, Jack Johnson. That's when my shit started. Lo, you came in mad late. I got to get you a DeLorean so you can go back and fucking brush up. De La Hoya won first 6 rounds easy. Well, then it should have been a draw. I don't think he won the first 6 rounds. I think he won about 5 out of, you know what I'm saying? Like, because a couple were close or. There you go. Now, I'm just trying to break down to Low that, boxing has a certain birthing point. Like when Jesus was born, there's a certain time when boxing was born. Now, it goes back up to ancient Greece. They fought in the Olympics and shit, but that was, you know what I'm saying, in the Colosseum, bare knuckle, loser gets attacked by a lion. The loser's a lion's dinner. Even Ness hits me up with certain info. Yeah, he doesn't hit me up because he's too arrogant. And I'm not really there. Like, I'm not his, you're his, like, history facts. But you have to understand, Lo, you saying that just proved my point. Ness admits not being a historian and not knowing shit before probably the 2000s. So, of course, he's going to go to you. You're like the 90s and 2000s. Like, that's as far back as you go. You got some 80s too. So, of course, he's going to go to you. Because his knowledge of is even less than yours in terms of history. His shit's like 2000 and up. That's all. He doesn't know shit. You're like 80 and up. 1980s and up. It's like the blind leading the blind with you and him. I'm just kidding. Keem is going to beat him. Y'all historians explained to me why Duran skipped 140 and we never got that mega fight between Duran and Pryor. Well, Mike, Duran's natural best weight was 135. So anything past that, he was living on borrowed time. So why? You see Duran's physique? Did you see his physique when he fought? He was borderline fat. You could ask why James Toney skipped certain, like they just went up because they didn't want to make weight. It was slightly undisciplined. Oh, Jesus. Low work at unpaid intern. Yeah, exactly. I'm police. Okay. Exactly. He admits it though. My knowledge starts around Sugar Ray Robinson. That's good. See, that's way before no Low. Low don't know. I don't think Low thinks that's a cereal. Low. Sugar Ray Robinson is not a Kellogg cereal. It's one of the greatest fighters who ever lived. His real name was Walker Smith Jr. It's not a cereal, Low. You got to school it. You got to school this young fella. I'm not from the 70s and up. I told you Durant started in 118 best future weight. Okay, so I'll give you the 70s. So I got you. So I got 70 fucking years of knowledge over you. So fall back, young fella. Leonard was the money fight. Leonard ducked Aaron Pryor. One, because Aaron Pryor was scary, but mainly he was on his Canelo Tank Floyd Mayweather shit. People never talk about this. Why'd he duck Aaron Pryor? High risk, low reward. Aaron Pryor had a 90-something% knockout ratio for a 140-pounder, which is unfucking heard of. Had never lost at that point. He only has one loss when he was literally smoking crack. Like, not figuratively, like people are like, yo, that dude's a crackhead. No, he was lighting glass pipes and smoking crack in the fucking locker room. And that's the only fight he lost. When he was already in his 30s, which then was old. He avoided Aaron because Aaron was a high risk because of his skill, low reward, because he was nowhere near as popular as Tommy Hearns, Marvin Hagler, Duran. But why it's not pathetic that Ray did it, why it's not something that you criticize him for, is because Ray instead fought fighters who go down way deeper in history than Pryor, which is Hagler, Hearns, Duran. Now, if Pryor would have beaten Sugar Ray, he might have been in that realm. Unfortunately, nobody gave Pryor that chance. Now, Pryor, this was before he went to middleweight. So Pryor would have never fought Hagler because they were different weight classes. This was earlier Leonard. Duran would have beaten Pryor. Get the fuck out of here. Actually, maybe. At 35 or 40? Because that 40 is still Duran's optimal weight. Maybe. Duran would have had a shot at beating Pryor. A shot. I'm not saying he would have. You're wilding out. Tyson beats Prime Roy. Because Mike Tyson takes away Roy's main advantage, which is speed, hand speed. Tyson's hands weren't faster than Roy's, but fucking close. And his foot speed, he'd have been too big. I don't think Roy would have been able to outbox Tyson. Tyson's footwork, even when they did the exhibition, granted they're both old, but they're both old, so it evens itself out. Mike was able to get inside. Roy would have been fucking slept. Like a 1988 Mike versus 1999 Roy? Nah. No. Oh, I love Roy. And Roy, I'm sorry, I'm speaking sacrilege on you on this day of our Lord.
I must have forgot.
But no. Alberto, if he doesn't care, it means he's a rat. You are getting close to being kicked out of here, Rusty. You're starting to get disrespectful, so please chill out. I don't know. Keem said he felt a little food poisoning. No, he didn't. Pryor versus Chavez Sr. I think Pryor. Pryor had a chin. Pryor wouldn't. Do you think Meldrick Taylor? Pryor would have done what Meldrick Taylor did. He had that kind of hand speed and that kind of tenacity, but he hit way harder, and his angles were better. I'm telling you, Pryor would have lit Chavez up. Yeah, I guess I do. Duran was a little overrated. Like, he was a dope lightweight, but the competition was sparse. But as a lightweight, he's there. Problem is, he spent the majority of his career not as a lightweight. There was a picture that threw no head. There was a picture that... What? Alberto, you talking like the police. Okay. Keyshawn said paying sanctioning bodies is goofy to be a champ. I'm with him. You know what that's doing? I love that. You know what that's doing? That's eliminating these bullshit sanctioning bodies and all these bullshit belts. That's making the lineal the only one that matters, which is the ring. That's giving Turkey more power, so maybe, but I love it. I love it. Turkey won't make you pay. The Ring magazine doesn't charge you sanctioning fees. That makes you fight for it. That makes there be one champion. That's what we need. That's what boxing. That's Lowe doesn't know this because Lowe didn't start watching boxing until like 2015. But that's what boxing was built on. One champion of the world, not a team. No, my teammates helped me. No, I did it all. What's up, Fight Sports? Chavo is the best featherweight. I don't know about that. I'm always interested to brush a history up if I had to go. Okay. It's cool being a criminal. Huh? Oh. What happened, Franklin? Why you leave yesterday? Because Tone came in here? That's rude. Is that why you left? I was confused. And somebody's like, oh, he doesn't like Tone. I'm like, oh, did I say something? Like, why the? He goes, that's my cue. Peace. I'm like, what the fuck happened? Recently watched some Willie Pep, one of the greatest fighters of all time. Top 10 greatest fighter of all time, Willie Pep. People don't bring him up. Dude was smooth, great movement, great counter punching ability. Well, hell yeah. His record, 229 and like 11 or some shit. His record is insane. And those 11, like, he was talk about a run. Pryor was a beast, also reckless, dropped quite a bit. I wouldn't say quite a bit, George. I wouldn't say quite a bit. And the few times he got dropped, that shit revved him up like somebody shoved a Pac-Man power pellet in his mouth. He just came harder. The mixed bottle doesn't mean shit, George, because in the rematch, where everything was thoroughly tested and under scrutiny, he destroyed him. Even worse, forever eliminating that mixed bottle. Just like if Ryan beats Haney in the rematch, it does the same thing. But I will agree with you, saying give me the one I mixed, something had to be wrong because you don't mix any kind of water. All you could have in the corner is water. One champion isn't enough. All right, maybe for you, but that's how boxing was built. Bro, what Duran did is the equivalent of Tank eventually pulling up to 169 and beating Prime Charlo. Sure. Yeah. I'm not saying he wasn't great. I'm just saying there was better. Okay, then don't. This isn't his room, so I'm glad you're here, not there. Agree, ring should be only belt that count. Hell yeah. Didn't he win 168, Duran? I could have swore he won the super middle too. Yeah, always seen sanctioning bodies as money hungry. Hell yeah. And it got worse when we went from 3, now the WBO is official. And then the WBC, they're the ones, right? They start adding 3 belts, a regular belt, a super champ. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Low Nose Boxing speaks some sense into Marco, the Duran slander. No, I'm not slandering him. He's one of the greats. I just don't think he's top 10. I think the 4-belt era creates better landscape for boxing. Why is it a landscape? What's that mean? I disagree. Duran match, everyone's affected if he'd smoked prior. I disagree. Actually, maybe. Because at 40, Duran might beat anybody. But past at 47 and up, nah. Hagler, Roy Jones in their primes. Nah, you crazy. Roy Jones is way too fast and big for Hagler. What up, Michael? Duran was way better than Arguello. Agreed. Pac-Man. Duran, one of my highest ring. Yeah, that's a fact. You should see his sparring with Nigel Benn. He's playing with him. Oh, shit. Esquire. Excellent Tio interview. You kept it authentic, respectful, and asked the direct questions. When you noticed issues, you did not shy away. Excellent stuff. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. You're the man. Duran win over Ray, maybe the single best win. Yeah, that was crazy. But that was a very young Ray. I believe Ray got better. And look, what did Ray do in the rematch? What did he do? What happened in the rematch? You speak Spanish, right? ¿Por qué? What's no más mean? I'm sorry, I don't speak Spanish. Could somebody tell me what is no mas? As they say in Portuguese, que isso? Que isso no mas? Brazilian Portuguese. Fuck out of here, low. Just like Meldrick versus Chavez, Taylor got destroyed in the rematch. Good point. Great point, but that doesn't take away from Meldrick's win. And why that's even more important than the first. First of all, that fight was close. Because Chavez was 69, I believe, or 67 and 69 and 0. That's what made that fight so crazy. That's what Perdell, when they fought, I believe Chavez was 87 and 0. By the way, did you guys know Chavez was fighting once a fucking month? Sometimes more. He had 13, 14 fights in a year, building up that record. I'm going to go down a little because you guys are burying me here. Too many comments. No Mo, that's Prime Roy beats anyone, including, well, Floyd's way too small, but thanks for the alley-oop.
Y'all must have forgot.
Duran was out of shape to chase Ray around. Well, it's always an excuse. And maybe that's true, but that's on him, if that is true. Duran evolved into a special fighter. Defensive skills underrated. Yeah, he was great. Trick, what up, blood? I interview fighters all the time, and he had Bo Mack on his show, and he let the scoundrel disrespect and let it ride. I spoke to Bo Mack and told him not to go over there anymore. Huh? What are you talking about? Yeah, he was fighting every 2 weeks. Nah, once every 2 weeks. No, he was fighting. Was it every 2 weeks? Yeah, at some point. Oh, Ray. My bad. I believe Ray. I'm sorry. Yeah, the A and the O look alike. I believe Ray Leonard does beat Floyd Mayweather. I believe Ray Leonard and Pernell Whitaker definitely would beat Floyd Mayweather. I believe Aaron Pryor would have a shot. I believe a prime De La Hoya would have a shot. And of course, Sugar Ray Robinson. Yeah, I see that now. Meldrick got destroyed 2 more times before his rematch. Yeah, Meldrick was... That fight arguably ended Meldrick. It gave him irreversible damage physically, mentally, and spiritually. Now, if he would have got the victory, I might have been like spiritually. He might have been like, yeah, you know what I mean? You think Ness will have a concert? I don't know. Appreciate you. Skip my last comment. What'd you say? Sorry, man. I'm getting fucking bombarded here with comments. I don't blame Bo Mac. Cheeto Puff's good as hell. Definitely your spit on. Huh? Tommy Hearns beat Floyd. Nah. No. Tommy Hearns was very one-dimensional. Tommy Hearns had speed and power. That's it. Tommy Hearns was unstable on his feet. He didn't have the best boxing IQ. He didn't set traps too well, although he did set a dope trap to knock out Duran, but that was he just overwhelmed Duran with speed and power. He was just a bigger man, like a harder punching man. Nah, Floyd, that would kind of remind me of how Floyd did Corrales. Similar, tall, hard puncher. You know, Hearns was better than Corrales, but I'm just saying. Nah, Hearns is a bit overrated. A bit. I'm saying he's one of the greats, but a bit overrated. Oh, okay. All right, good chat. I'm out. Where you going? How many live viewers you had with Tio? 120 maybe at the peak, something like that. Hearns is 6'2", 80-inch reach, freak of nature. Yeah, he is. I don't even know how he held on to fight at 47. This era sucks. Yep. Hearns schooled Benitez. I think Wilfredo Benitez is overrated. I think Wilfredo Benitez just garnered popularity because he's the youngest world champion in history. So they were fucking sweating. They were on his dick sweating him. And while that's a great feat, that doesn't make you an all-time great, in my opinion. Why are you... this guy's about to get bumped out of here. Floyd would not get in the ring with Hearns. Well, I don't know if he would or if he wouldn't, but I'm saying I think Floyd would have beat him. At 47, I think Floyd would have beat him. I'm telling you. Fucking, and like Pretty Boy Floyd, the one who fought Corrales, that was what they were like 140 there, weren't they? That's doable. Hearns might have the greatest right. Yeah. Well, the greatest right hand of all time is Deontay Wilder. We can't deny that. He knocked out everybody he fought that he beat when he was throwing punches, except Fury, who he still dropped numerous times from that by that right hand. Second greatest right hand of all time is either Hearns or, yeah, I'm going to say it, Gerald McClellan. G-Man's right hand was a grenade. What's up, Marco? Checking in. What's up, K Mula? Come on, man. I got what you got. Hearns only lost to punchers. Floyd is no puncher. Yeah, but but you're right, Trick. But Floyd is a special. He's a unicorn. He's his own animal. Nobody had the kind of defense that he had, and the power when he was punching, and the smarts and the patience. He would have just taken Hearns into deep waters, no problem. Wore him out and picked him apart. Telling you. That shit won't work. That, like, Hearns just throwing hard, fast shots, just like fucking frantically, wouldn't work on Floyd. He'd be able to weather that storm, and Hearns would gas out. Just like he did against Hagler, just like he did against fucking Leonard. Telling you. He wasn't molasses slow. He wasn't Tommy Hearns speed, granted, but he wasn't molasses. If you did a Border Wars type event on the East Coast, I think we could bring people out. I would figure fight in for sure. Where you live again, Mike? Mikhail? Okay. Lennox Lewis, right hand was, yes, absolutely. One of the greats. So was, I hate to say it because he bored the shit out of me, but Klitschko. Vladimir, his right hand is one of the greats. Absolutely, Low. I got Lennox as a better heavyweight better skilled, better career than Muhammad Ali. People think I'm crazy. Not as a better person, not as a more charismatic, better in the ring. People think I'm nuts. Hearns was a terrorist. Yeah? Was he a terrorist when he got in front of Sugar Ray Leonard? Floyd was so focused on boxing, he didn't learn to read. It's fucked up. That might be true, but that's fucked up. I don't know. Hearns only lost to Leonard at welterweight. Leonard, eye was shut. You blowing it. Yeah, he did only learn. But that's because he also had a short welterweight career. Why? Because Hearns is 6'1", and he could not make welterweight for too long. That was a short career. So we can't really, you know what I mean? I don't think it's fair to even put Hearns in. It's like Oscar De La Hoya and Shane Mosley at lightweight. They were hot boxing dudes, melons, knocking blocks off. Knocking blocks off like they're bricklayers. But they stayed there very shortly. Why? Because they're 19, 18, 19, and their bodies quickly matured into heavier. They could not make it. That's what people call weight bully, so to speak. So you can't really take Hearns' 47 career, which is not his real weight. You just can't. Just like Oscar. Just like fucking every great fighter that we talk about has had numerous weight division reigns. And I don't look at Roy as a middleweight. I mean, Roy has his first fight at 54. I look at Roy as a super middleweight and light, heavy. Roy was a middleweight. Yeah, he won a championship, but he was there so shortly. His body couldn't make that weight. You're taking kids who turn into men, and you have to go by their man weight. So, to me, Hearns versus Floyd really isn't even a viable matchup because Floyd maxed out at 47. Even when he fought Canelo, he didn't even go to 54. He weighed in at 52. Floyd's a 47-pounder. He started at feather. That's like saying Floyd is feather. was killing people, but he's not a real featherweight. He's a fucking welterweight, maybe even 40 if junior welter or welter, not a feather. So we got to stop taking fighters' first inaugural weight class of what their rookie season weight class was and matching it with dudes who are career weight classes. Do you understand what I'm saying? That has to stop because it's an unfair comparison. Completely unfair. Hearns hurt everyone he fought. Nah, Hearns was no joke, but I think Mayweather, but again, they would have never fought. Hearns was a light heavyweight. That's how far he went up. Like, they would have never fought. So it's really not fair. It's like, oh, Hearns is natural. Now, Hearns was probably, I would say, a natural middleweight, 154 to probably middleweight, right? Middleweight. So his power as a middleweight against Floyd, who's a natural welter, maybe even junior welter, that's just not fair. Same day weigh-ins. I like that. Yeah, I like that. Right. And same day weigh-ins made it easier to stay at what your weight is, I believe. I don't know if it was same day weigh-ins, but either way, again, you take kids who are 18, 19, some 17. That's not their actual weight. Lennox Lewis is one of the greatest. I'm glad you agree with me, Lo. A lot of people think I'm crazy when I say that. Like Manny Inoue. Manny started at 108 pounds, and people are, he juiced. The motherfucker was like 16 when he was 108 pounds. Who outboxed Hearns? He only lost to punchers. That's what is wrong with people. There's an older Tommy. Who outboxed Hearns? Well, let me ask you a question. Well, Sugar Ray Leonard outboxed Hearns. But who did Hearns fight that was a phenomenal boxer? Oh, come on, Trick. Trick, you're being biased now. Marlon Starling? Trick, you don't like Floyd, do you? See, Trick knows boxing. He knows more than you, Lo. I'll tell you that. But he gets biased sometimes, and this is biased. I don't think he likes Floyd. Did we? Oopsie. All right, where am I at? Lil Rock, what up, blood? 15-round fights, true. If you don't have to be a phenomenal boxer to be outboxed. Well, technically, yeah, that's true. Virgil Hill could box. Virgil Hill. Virgil Hill was not a slick boxer. Oh, you don't say that. Don't say that, Trick. Come on. Don't say that. We're boys. People don't know Marlon. I know Marlon. I know Marlon, and I met him in person. I know Marlon. Ohio. Oh, shit. I've been to Akron. There's a big Bulgarian church in Akron. I drove there with my mom when I was little. Leonard did not outbox Hearns. He was down on points before he stopped him, and clearly, I mean, they weren't going toe-to-toe brawling. So there's a fine line here. You have a point, but I mean, they weren't brawling. They were like boxer puncher. They were kind of doing both. And I'm not saying Floyd, I mean, you can call it what you want to call it. Floyd is a different animal. That's my point. Floyd Mayweather. Now, I'm saying if you take Hearns, because we just established they could never fight because they were never the same weight. At least not naturally. Not at their peaks, right? We'd take them at their peaks. They weren't the same weight. But let's say you did a pound for pound time machine matchup and you shrunk them down to be the same size. Floyd Mayweather is unlike anybody. And I'm not a huge fan of how he acts outside the ring. You guys know I'm not a big Floyd fan, but you gotta facts are facts. Props have to be rationed out when they're due. Floyd was a unicorn. He doesn't, when I mean box, he's not going to be on the outside dancing, doing Muhammad Ali or Larry Holmes on Hearns. Floyd sat in the pocket. Do you guys not remember? Do you guys not watch boxing? Do you guys not watch boxing? Floyd didn't box traditionally. He sat in the pocket. Okay? What does that mean? That means he would have Hearns come to him and he would counter Hearns. He would use that waist movement, that elastic waist movement, that Floyd Mayweather roll. He would use that. That is not a classic boxer. He is not the classic fighter. Okay? So you can't put him in a category of no boxers beat Hearns. Yeah, but no boxers were like Floyd. The closest thing you had to Floyd was James Toney. And I think James Toney would have beat Hearns too. And they could have met. They were the same weight. They could have met at middle or super middle. No problem. I think fucking James Toney would have whooped Hearns' ass. He would have picked his ass apart. Hearns shoots his load. That motherfucker shoots his load like he's starring in Debbie Does Dallas. Okay? And then he gets picked apart. That's what Floyd would have done. And let's not forget, James Toney and Floyd Mayweather both had some of the best chins. Besides they had the best defense, best chins we've ever seen. Tommy Hearns' chin, poo-poo. Poo-poo. Tommy Hearns' chin was not good. Let me ask you guys this. We've established that Hearns could not have fought Mayweather at their prime weights, but James Toney could have. Who wins? Tell me right now in the chat. Who wins, James Toney or Tommy Hearns at middle? Who wins? Let's see if you guys are out of your fight, especially the Trick and what's his face, Djokovic. Let's see if you guys are big on Hearns. And I love Hearns, but who wins, James Toney or Tommy Hearns at middleweight? Let's see. Let's see. All right, we got Toney. Certainly not the one that fought none. So you're saying Toney. Another Toney. Another Toney. Come on. Another Toney. Okay. We got one Hearns. Another Toney. Another Toney. That would have been fun. There would have been a boxer. There would have been a boxer. None was a boxer. There we go. So all Tonys. Floyd Mayweather and James Toney fought very similarly. And that's my fucking point. But there were different weight classes, obviously. Depends on what Toney showed up. The middleweight Toney. The only person who beat the middleweight Toney, well, middle or super middle, was fucking Roy. And Roy is obviously the greatest fighter who ever walked the planet. So that doesn't even count. Toney could crack. Floyd can't. Exactly. Well, yeah, at middleweight, he could crack. When he went up, he couldn't crack it. At light heavy. Actually, light heavy, he was okay. But when he started going to cruiser and heavyweight, he didn't really have power anymore. Either way, though, if Floyd was heavier, he could crack too. He's Floyd. No, and that's not true. You're wrong, Smoking. Floyd at his prime weight, before he hurt his hands, you tell me he couldn't crack? Why don't you ask Arturo Gatti and Diego Corrales and Chop Chop Corley if Floyd could crack? Floyd only stopped cracking when he hurt his hands. We're going prime, right? Prime Floyd could punch too. That's my point. If you want to take the Floyd who couldn't punch and somehow shrink him, shrink Hearns down to fight that Floyd, okay. But that Floyd made up for his lack of power by doing like his defense, his patience, everything. He made up for it. He still wouldn't have lost. He might have knocked Hearns out, but he wouldn't have lost. He would have won. 147 Floyd could have cracked too. Until he hurt his hands. I believe what did he weigh when he fought Gotti? Because that Floyd was still hitting hard. I believe it was 147. And that shows you the difference between the hand injury and not the hand injury. That was for the super lightweight. Yup. That was 140. Okay. So, yeah, 47 Floyd, the power, I think, was gone completely at 47. But 40 Floyd, matter of fact, let me see something. Did Tommy Hearns ever fight at 140? I think he did. He was probably like fucking 12. Nope. Okay, Tommy Hearns never fought at 140, ever. His lightest was 47. And whereas Floyd's lightest was featherweight. So that just shows you they're like 4 weight classes or some shit like that apart from each other naturally. Right, let's see these two Hearns lovers. Reggie Johnson, in my opinion, beat Tony. Yeah, I mean, Montel Griffin beat Tony twice. I'm not saying Tony is unbeatable. I think Tony would have beat Hearns. Nunn was outboxing Tony before getting clipped at 160. George. Now, George, that is not true. He had built this lead on the scorecard, which Tony started chipping away at. It wasn't like it was an ass whooping and it was a one-punch knockout that changed everything. Tony started cracking him. I did a video on it recently, so it's fresh in my memory. Tony was fucking nipping at his heels, George. That is not true. It was not. You don't make it seem like it was this like one-punch lucky thing where he was getting outboxed completely, because he wasn't. And by the way, Hearns was not a 6'2" southpaw who boxed. Hearns was a 6'1" puncher. He didn't box like fucking Michael Nunn did. He couldn't keep that kind of range. Tony would have lured Hearns in like he's on the greatest catch. He would have put that bait down there. That dude would have been swarming like a shark around chum. Hearns is. Yeah, James Toney lost. We're talking matchup for matchup. Nobody's saying that the dude is invincible. I'm saying here's what it is, guys. When we talk about fantasy matchups, we have to stick to peak fighter versus peak fighter. Every fighter, almost every fighter, except even Floyd, the Floyd against Jose Luis Castillo, which I thought, by the way, Floyd lost that fight, the first one. Every fighter's had a bad night. When we do fantasy matchups, you guys can't come in here and start bringing up all the nights that dudes were off. We're going at peak versus peak. Who wins? Peak versus peak. Who wins? Let's stick to that. Let's not start pulling out off nights or bad nights or when they're mad old. Like, oh, well, the Roy who fought Danny Green. Like, come on. The Roy who fought Glencoff Johnson. I mean, yeah, I know. He was like, no. Peak. Talk about Tyson. Talk about the Tyson who fought Spinks. Now, the Tyson who fought Razor Ruddock was a bad man too, but the Spinks Tyson was the one that I think nobody could probably beat. Razor Ruddock Tyson was beatable. I named my son James Toney. I still hear non-boxing fans. Is that true? You know, I know James. I can maybe get James to, like, if you want, get like a big shout to your son or something like that if you want. James is a cool dude. He'd do it. I know his speech is a little whatever, but sometimes sometimes you can't even tell. Sometimes he says certain things. He sounds fine. Hearns boxed in the pocket. He's not a boxer. And Tony would have eaten that up like a Golden Corral buffet. Do they still have Golden Corrals anymore? Bro, Tony would mop Hearns. Yeah, it would have been bad. I have to factor in their opponent's peak. You have to. It's peak. You got to talk peak. We can't be pulling out Yeah, see, Trick's there. I thought he left. I'm like, I scared him off. Tony wasn't a monster at 60 is my point. He wasn't a monster. George, he was the best fighter in the world pound for pound before Roy beat him. What are you talking about? Literally considered the best pound for pound fighter in the world. He was like 50-something and 0. What are you... George, are you smoking? George, are you drunk? George, I got a serious question for you. It's maybe more of a statement, but...
You smoke crack, don't you? You smoke crack, don't you?
Not a monster. Okay, well, if you don't think the number one P for P fighter in the world is not a monster, then I guess I can't argue with you. Boxing is subjective. By that thinking, Tony Roy beat wasn't peak. By that thinking, the Tony Roy beat wasn't peak? Huh? Well, Tony, he was peaked right at that time that George just said that he wasn't a monster. That was really when people considered him the best. But he also came back. He had many layers of his career when he beat the fucking Russian guy for the cruiserweight title. What's his name? Sergey, whatever his name is. Marco has been sick lately. I believe he's been drinking that Memphis moonshine. I wish. Tony was down bad in the car. Down bad? Okay. Let's see something. Tony. James Tony. Let's see. Let us see. Okay. All right. I mean, I know what I saw. I'm going to look at what the official scorecard said, but I saw he was on the way back. Okay. So yeah, you're right. The actual scorecards had him down, but the fan scorecards had it only a 2-point fight at the time of the stoppage. It went from Michael, is exactly what I said, George. Nunn won 5 rounds, 1 through 5, and then Tony started winning them. Tony won literally 6, 8, 9, and 10. That's what the fans have. I'm going by the fans because, that's way more accurate. So he was absolutely coming back. And he had wobbled Nunn a couple times, cracked him. I'm telling you, I just saw the fight. I literally just saw it. It was not a complete one-punch change up, like a shutout. And that was, nah. Checked verse. I just did. Yeah, I just did. And the officials, you guys are right. The officials had it more lopsided, but the fans, we had it the way I saw it. And I'm not a Tony or a Nunn fan. It's just what I saw doing my video and over the years watching the fight. I have I'm not biased for either guy. That's just what happened. Nunn was boxing his ass off, and then Tony started coming back. So that's just what it was. But, obviously, if you want to argue, you can say the scorecards had it that way. That's what the official scorecard said. But we all know that official scorecards a lot of times are not accurate or are not what the majority of fans believe. But that's the problem in boxing. This is why we have so much fun doing this. It's all subjective. I can't argue with what George thinks. I can't argue what Trick thinks because that's their opinion. And it is subjective. You tell me you think Tony was losing that fight by a shutout. I can't argue with you. That's your opinion. Boxing's opinion-based. There's no criteria set for judging across the board. Some people think if you land pity pats, you win over power punches. Some people think if you land less power punches over a dude who's pity patting you more, the power punching should win. It's all subjective. So whatever you think. But anyway, all right, people, I'm going to bounce. This is dope. I'll be back to do the fights tonight. So I'll catch you guys then. Peace.